Hey everybody, how are we doing? So we're out here walking around kind of like a historical fort type area, and I love these places because when the army came in, when the military came in or what have you, they brought their families to these forts. And we're still here in Northeast Oregon, but they're cool because a lot of the women and such would bring medicines with them. And so we're in Northeast Oregon, but behind me is a massive grove of poke root trees. In fact, this 30-40 acre area we're on is like, poke root has become problematic. You can see she's everywhere, all throughout here, because she just spreads rapidly. Now, she natively grows down southern area, a little bit on the East Coast, so she's definitely not a native to northern states, but because people came in and moved about, they brought her with them. But so poke root is a little bit of a poison. She's a serious medicine. But again, I've been starting to do these videos of medicines that I make for myself, but I would never sell because unfortunately people could hurt themselves if they're not paying attention and things like that. But it's still good to get this information out there because maybe you come across poke root, you come across somebody telling you to use poke root and you're like, wow, I'm just going to buy a tincture, and then you take too much and make yourself sick. So poke root is an incredibly valuable antibiotic. I'm talking, if there was one plant that I had to choose for like end of days scenario to keep myself and loved ones from dying from some fucking super virus, poke root is it. Now you're like, why does she keep saying poke root? Isn't it just a poke plant, a poke tree? And I say poke root because the only medicine I am using off of this entire plant is her root. So I would come down here in October or so. If you live somewhere like, let's say you're in Alaska or somewhere where it gets cold way earlier than November, October, you get frost like, higher in the elevations, things like that, I would dig her root then. But I would follow down here and I would dig up just a small poke root. You don't need a massive amount of poke root. In fact, even if you have a large family, if you dig up one clump of root and make a tincture out of it, which eventually I'll show you how to do when the time comes, that's enough poke root to last generations. And I say that because when you're using poke root, you're using just a minimal amount. Just like the wormwood, we're talking maybe 1-2 drops at a time. And if you want to work your way up to say 5 drops, it would be like a week's worth of 1 drop a day, a week's worth of 2 drops a day, 3 drops a day, all the way up to 5. She is not only an amazing antiviral, antibacterial, but she does not fuck around with getting things to move out of your thyroid. A lot of people have used her to fight cancer aggressively. And poke root's got this cool thing to where, like, you'll know if you've taken too much. If you start getting kind of dizzy, you've taken too much poke root and you just have to back off on your dosage. This is like my last step of medicine before I go seek pharmaceutical care. If poke root can't take care of what I'm dealing with, then I'll go get antibiotics. But sometimes I might choose antibiotics over poke root. If I just need like a little bit of amoxicillin to kick an infection, that might be easier on my body than using poke root. So let me grab the camera here right quick and just show you her up close. She's pretty hard to misidentify. You see these clumps of berries. Now traditionally a lot of people do make jam out of these berries. I'm not brave enough to do it. I definitely don't have that Appalachian knowledge, probably said that word wrong, to do it, but I often wonder why maybe if a lot of them didn't get ravaged by the plagues and such like that hit the US, like the Spanish flu and stuff, because they were perpetually eating poke root jelly. If you get brave enough to do that, more power to you. But me personally, she's just such a powerful plant that I'm only going to use her root, and I'm only going to use it sparingly. But she's got these bright red stalks and bright red berries, and she's beautiful and she's potent and she's very powerful, so she absolutely needs to be respected. You can make a poultice out, like an infused oil, I should say, not a poultice, an infused oil out of her her roots and berries for dealing with breast cancer. But here's the thing. Hey, hon, you want to grab this? She is so potent. She is so potent that when you use her in that way, she can literally eat a hole through your breast tissue and eat out that cancer. I'm not saying she's a cancer cure. I'm saying people can use her in very powerful ways when you're fighting for your life. So, you know, she is an amazing ally to have on hand. I would always have poke root on hand. I would just respect her immense power and use her sparingly. And I still think that you're smart enough to do this. This may not be the most simple, most safe plant ally, but I think you're smart enough to be like, whoa, that made me feel dizzy, so I'll take a little less. I think you're smart enough to get curious about poke root and start reading about her and get out here and find her and not kill yourself. I mean, honestly, you'd be pretty hard pressed and suffering pretty badly before you actually died from poke root. So I think you're smart enough to not touch something when it's hot, right? So you're smart enough to stop taking something if it's making you sick. But you don't have to pay somebody thousands of dollars to learn this stuff. You can just get curious. You can just get out here. You can find these plant allies. And since she is invasive and people brought her all over the country, you can probably find her in your area. So again, get out here and get curious about poke root. So if you like hearing me talk about these random plants as I go out and walk around and find ladies and what they can do for us, if you like hearing me jabber, make sure to click the bell down below to subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when I do upload these videos. And then make sure to like and comment. Not only does it let me know that you're here with me, so I'm not just talking into the void alone, it helps other people find me because YouTube says, oh, people are commenting on this. This content must be worth showing to people. And then come find me on Instagram, my website, you know, all that stuff I always say, and you can find it by following the links here in my bio. But this is Poke Root, and I hope you get to know her, and thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.